Next, he says, as an omnipresent space fixed in and outside a pot, so is the homogeneous, heterogeneous, self-differenceless, everlasting, continuous Brahma fixed in and outside all the visual objects without discriminating between space, time and objects. As is an omnipresent space. Omnipresent is that which is everywhere. It is said about Brahma that it is even faster than thought. Its speed is even higher than thought. Just imagine what exists in the world which has a speed higher than thought. These are the kind of puzzles presented to people to solve them. What is it in the world faster than thoughts? Thought travels faster than the speed at which light travels. The time in which light comes from a star to this planet, let's assume some light years. Light will take so many light years to reach here. How long will you take to reach the star? Your thoughts. A fraction of a second and you will reach the star. Thought has reached, the body hasn't. Rocket hasn't reached, thought has reached. The thought is extremely fast. Thought can reach anywhere. This is the speed of thought. Speed of imagination. The velocity of imagination. Extremely fast. You can imagine anything just sitting idly. Speed of thought is quite high. What exists in the world which has speed higher than thought? You said star. What was there before saying that? You said star. Hence, an image of star popped up, which means your thought has reached the star. What was present on the screen before that image came up? A star was seen on your body, which is like a mirror, because you uttered star. Before this desire of I need to think about star, what was already present and had already reached there? Consciousness. As is an omnipresent space fixed in and outside a pot. There is a pot inside and outside of which space is fixed. Fixed is something which doesn't change. Unchangeable. Pot is formed and destroyed, but space doesn't form or dies. It is fixed, outside and inside, and science has progressed a lot such that it knows that every atom of a pot has space in it. If there is no space, there won't be any atoms which are coming together and what we call a pot. Space is required for those particles which are attached to each other. If the pot, which we call as a pot, is seen at the most subtle level, even that is space. Go on reducing it, and in the end, you will find space. Space inside and outside isn't different. They are the one. Space is space. There is no division in space. You can create a division at the level of thought, but you can't create it actually. At the level of thought, you will say, it is mine, because this is my pot. The space inside it is mine. I am its owner. The space of this pot outside it is yours. This is my home. So, the space in it is mine. That is your home. So, the space in it is yours. This is where all the conflict lies. This is where all the problem lies. What is all this? Thoughts. It is not reality. Whose is it? There is a land. You go and register it and say that it is yours. How is it yours? It is just a feeling, just for the sake of saying. As is an omnipresent space fixed in and outside a pot, so is the homogeneous, heterogeneous, self-differenceless, everlasting, continuous Brahma fixed in and outside all the visual objects without discriminating between space, time and objects. Desh is space, Kal is time. Vastu is an object. Vastu ke pariched se rahit. Above all these three clauses, what is such a thing in this world which is exclusive of the clause of space? Use your brain. You can say that this is here. Here and there are in relation to space. That which is here isn't there. That which is there isn't here. What does this mean? Division happened. Similarly, you can divide any form on the basis of these three things. How? Space. It is here, but it is not there. It is there, but it isn't here. This is how our mind thinks. So people thought, since our habits are such, because whatever is seen through our senses, this sound is present here, but it isn't present there. This thing is present here, it is not present there. This sensation is present here, it is not present there. Since this is how the mind works, people created an imagination of God on similar lines. I am here, God is there. Where is there? Don't know. Above the clouds, as if God is a form. A human will think that God is himself a human-like, whereas none of the human activities are remotely equivalent to God. What is a human doing on this earth? Just damaging this planet. If humans vanished away from this planet will be a better place. It will be very good for all other lacks of organisms. So one thing is definite. If God exists somewhere, someplace, his form doesn't resemble the form of humans at all. So what are all these forms? An imagination of humans themselves. Think small, imagine small. Similarly, space, time. So what is the second thing? One is here and there. Second is time, then and now. This happened then. This is happening now. It will happen then. This object is present now. It won't be present tomorrow. Any object is subject to these two things. One is space, the other is time. It may be a sun, a planet, or a star. It may be our entire galaxy too. It may be whatever. Even that is a form, isn't it? It is like an object which is made up of smaller objects. For example, this body of yours. It is an object which is made of billions and trillion of smaller cells. The same goes with the galaxy. It is made of smaller planets, smaller stars, etc. If all of that is put together, it becomes a form. Your body is nothing more than putting together lots of little dots. Similarly, this galaxy is nothing but putting together of little dots. Because that is the absence of every form. So an object is subject to space and time. We can point out that particular form on the basis of these two things, space and time. Doesn't matter if that form is small or big. Like this form is present here. It is not present there. This Milky Way galaxy is present here, but it is not present there. It is different from other galaxies. And on the basis of time, it is X years old. It is X billion years old, and it will get destroyed after so many years because of this. Similarly, you speak of your own body too. You say it is here and there. So, forms can be smaller or bigger. This ant is here. It is there. It exists now. It won't exist after some days or months. This is how we talk about humans too. They won't exist after a few years. What is he saying? Without discriminating between space, time and objects. What is being said about the Supreme Soul? And Supreme Soul is also just a word. Soul is the correct word, else people will start imagining Supreme Soul is different from the soul. It is similar to saying the space inside this pot is the soul and the space outside this pot is Supreme Soul. It is okay if we say this to kids, but it will be a foolish thing to say at the level we have achieved through our inquiry. It is space. It is not supreme space. That the space inside this pot is space. The one outside is supreme space. In the inside lies consciousness. Outside lies superconsciousness, supreme consciousness. This is a trait of confused people. So what is being said? Without discriminating between space, time and objects. It is a reality, and that reality is not different from us. It is our soul. I, as ASHTAVAKRA ji says, and his I and King Janak's I is same at this level. It is that I which is being referred. If that I is being discussed, then my I, my existence, my consciousness, my awareness, what I am, that is exclusive of the clause of space, time and objects. Only one substance, one material in this creation can pass this test and nothing else, without discriminating between space, time and objects. Because of the space, you can say that space is exclusive of the clause of space, time and objects. No, because it exists sometime and doesn't exist the other time. When you are awake, there is space. Everything exists in space. Objects exist in space. When you are in deep sleep, what exists? Before entering deep sleep, there is a dream. The objects seen through your senses while awake, the stored related impressions are being played in mind. What happens in deep sleep? Is there space? There is no space, no time. We don't realize time too. In deep sleep, we lose control over time too. Else, it is not deep sleep. If you sleep after being tired, you won't realize if you have slept for a minute, an hour or 8 hours. There is no space, time or object. Hence, space is one of the elements out of the 5 elements. Because the illusion of space keeps on changing. While you are awake, you space outside of yourself, and when you are in a dream, you see it within yourself. Which space is the truth? The inner one or the outer one? Even now, it is visible inside, but you are under an illusion. What does your experience say? If you ask someone where is space, he'll say outside. It actually is inside. What happens in a dream? It is completely visible inside. There is no doubt about it. We can wake up and be sure that this is true. This space wasn't outside. It was inside the body. Something inside the brain. Science can see it. You can consider space as 1 is the awake mode space, which is visible outside, and the second is the dream world space, which is visible inside. So you can categorize space too. Space is subject to time. It is visible at times and not visible at times. There is no question about it. There is something which is above space and time both. Space is linked to time. Time is linked to space. It is one block. They aren't two separate things. They are born together. They die together. If there is nothing in space, the forms, the thoughts are also in space, isn't it? If there is no thought, where is time? Time also disappears. Time and space and form, all these 3 things. The form can be as tiny as it can be, as subtle as it can be, as gross as it can be. All these 3 things are born together and die together. All the thoughts are related to this. But I am neither born nor do I die because of it, being born or it dies. So there is something which can't be divided on this basis. You can't say about it if it is here or there. Number 1, which is the reality, or which is you, or which is me. You can't say about it that it didn't exist yesterday and it exists today. This is time's definition. Something which didn't exist yesterday and is present today. The sound of silence is not something which was non-existent yesterday and you made it. It existed even when you didn't know. Even when you didn't know it, you were still aware. It's not as if you require it to be aware or to be conscious. The sound of silence. Understand this carefully. It means the awareness is the sound of silence itself. This is what you need to understand here from what I am speaking. Without discriminating between space, time and objects, we can divide everything this way. What else is being said? Homogeneous, heterogeneous, self, differenceless, everlasting, continuous. If we look at it broadly, we can first divide this creation in two: living and non-living, living things and non-living things. Living things are in a way heterogeneous, and non-living is one category. So we divided it, right? But there is no division in reality. It doesn't happen that it is with living and not with non-living. As some people think, consciousness exists only in living things and is absent in non-living things. Consciousness is everywhere. Reality is everywhere. This is a limitation of the instrument. It is a limitation of the instrument if it is equipped or not. You can connect the electricity, the wire, anywhere. There will light at some places and not at other places. Electricity isn't the reason here. A bulb is fused, other isn't. That's it. We'll call the bulb which is fused as inert, and the one which lights up, we will call it living. Which doesn't light up, we will call it non-living. Homogeneous, heterogeneous. How can you do further classification? Living, non-living. You can divide living into three categories: plants, animals, and humans. You can further divide plants. It becomes heterogeneous. Initially, we made a category. All of these are of just one category, homogeneous. It means all of it is of one category. Now plants. One is a mango tree. One is an apple tree. This is called heterogeneous. One has this mango. Other have that mango. One has such leaves. Other has another kind of leaves. One is big. The other is small. So we can divide it even further. What is being said here? Differenceless. No such differences are possible in awareness. It is possible for you. It is possible in objects. You can say about objects that they exist today. They won't exist tomorrow. It didn't exist yesterday. It exists today. Even that, when you talk at the upper level, but if observed deeply, you can't say it wasn't existent yesterday. It was in a different form yesterday. You can't say there were no clouds yesterday. Cloud was something else yesterday. Clouds didn't appear from nothing. You can't say there were no clouds yesterday. Yes, the form of cloud didn't exist yesterday. This is correct. But the substance of a cloud, that is water, was existing yesterday, is present today, and tomorrow cloud won't exist. It means its form won't exist. So, this is not the truth just about you. It is also the truth about creation if we keenly observe this creation. Nothing dies, nothing is destroyed. Only the forms keep on changing. But the forms still change. Forms can be classified. Forms can be put into different categories. But all of this is not possible with the formless. So there is no space for thought there. Where can thought work? This is big. This is small. This is good. This is bad. I like this. I don't like this. I exist. What will thought do here? Move ahead. I exist. Can you say I don't exist? Because the moment you are saying I don't exist, you exist even then. You can't go further than this. Thoughts come to an end here. So, all of these differences are possible in form but not possible in the formless. It is possible with bubbles. These are bubbles. These are waves. This is foam. This and that. But there is no possibility at the level of water. Differenceless. It is being told who you are. Differenceless. So what are you? You are everlasting. Everlasting, continuous Brahma, fixed in and outside all the visual objects. So beautiful, it is absolutely direct. There is no scope to get confused here if a person observes it carefully, if he studies ASHTAVAKRA GITA in detail. It is everlasting, continuous. It doesn't move intermittently. Brahma itself. Brahma and I aren't separate. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahma. This is a huge phrase. What does it mean? My actual I is Brahma itself. Continuous Brahma fixed in and outside all the visual objects. So it is I alone who exists inside and outside of whatever is visible. If I put it in a simple way, whatever I said right now, an ice cube, which means mirror. What is that ice cube made of? Water. That water is me. Who is in the know of that ice cube? I know of it. What is visible in it? I am one without the second. It is not different from me. It is me. All ice cubes visible within that ice cube is also water. Even that is me. Nothing is visible. Even that is me. Something is visible. Even that is me. I am visible myself. Even that is me. You have seen a lot of your shadow. Now even my shadow isn't visible. Even that is me. Only me. This is the supreme reality.